Yes, welcome again at the Self-Love Game 2020. We are going to talk today, day 5, about the topic of the day, and that is going to be being a life artist in harmonious union, and why that is so great and so basic. To feel those two together in the heart. See, that's the whole video already in a couple of seconds. Like being a life artist, you standing in the flow of creation, in the middle of it, not as the ego, but as the self. Life creates through you. You are the life artist. And you do that from the harmonious heart. That's the only place that it can take place. Anyway. Because that is where that seed resides that you have individually, and that the source of all wants to blow life into. And you are then, with your voice and your arms and your hands and your feet and your powerful actions and communications, you're going to animate that and bring that to life. That's why you're a life artist. Yeah, and that is really like all inclusive in the heart. And when the heart has come to peace, the heart has come to peace on such a level that it is permanent, and it is soft yet firm. And you're not under it and you're not going over it. It's a steady place. And that's possible. It's possible to do that with the heart. And that is not to say that you're now sitting on a rock on the top of a mountain and nothing ever happens anymore. And you will be like rock solid in the sense of dead. No, you're not dead. This is really where life begins. Yeah, and life begins like any second that you for 1 second feel this. So yeah, this is really like my life's mission, to make you feel that you are the life artist. And that is also why everything we do here has these words in it, like creativity, like creation. Of course, my personal background as well comes from artistry and studying artistry even from a university perspective, from a scientific perspective, right? And from an artistic place, it also comes because I was an artist. I became known as a Dutch literary poet, and I'm well acknowledged in that. Many publications I made. And that was the art form that I became professionalized in. And I just touched on, as an artist, right? And I touched on many other artistic forms. And I also researched and was a professional as organizer and so on. All artistic formulas and brands and tastes that we have in our westernized societies, right? And later on, I just began to combine all of that with like the inner world, and that gave wonderful perspectives. For instance, on the idea that every kind of artistry, for instance, music, actually refers to a place in the soul. In this case, hearing. And hearing can be outer, and the music can be beautiful. And there's always an invitation to have that sense that you have go inner as well, just as much inner as outer, and then you're going to hear your inner guidance, right? And that's again a pointer to your own life artistry in being your own life artist. So that is a direction that I really love, and I have prepared such directions for our future school to go into and to roll out. I have consciously prepared for that for 20 years. I'm currently sort of closing off the last 10 years of a new kind of fresh vibe of the past 10 years of preparation, which has also been beautiful. So here we are now. We're now where we are, and I'm also giving you this timeline, just a small hint of it, a tiny drop, because I actually wanted to speak about why it is so necessary and important today in 2020, in the autumn of 2020, October 2020, to be this life artist and to take the first steps to become that. And by the way, you have done that, because the people, the 25 people that have taken part in the 5-day self-love game, they have done that. You have taken steps. You have felt some things out. You have done some exercises or looked into what that meant for you. Don't be too shy to share about that, by the way. Just go ahead. So it is very topical for us, because we have these people in the self-love game that have tried out some exercises in 5 days to become a life artist. Is what I believe what it eventually came down to. But also because of the whole situation of the world and like the general vibe that we can feel right now, that, yeah, I personally feel it very much as a grand question is being asked to all of us individually and collectively, if we want to stand in that place where the flow source comes to light and to the world in many forms that are helpful and assisting through you. Especially in this place where we see so many difficulties rise to the surface, right? We have this, like, oh, there's this virus and what to do about it, and then there's like, but is that even real, or why do people so strange about it? And then underneath that, like, yeah, so what is all that communication about it, and why does it seem to be there is contradictory communication, and isn't that a problem, like a global problem, a societal problem, a social problem, but also potentially an individual problem, because many people get into like argument or they get angry, and you know, there's a whole bunch of aggravation that is like getting bigger at this time. And we had a bunch of that in the beginning of this year, and at this point in the fall, it actually seems to go up again. And there's a lot of feeling of insecurity where that will go. But I can give you a little hint that it will go well for you, and through your going well with other people too, when you can tune into the heart and be that life artist. So, because this life artist is someone that is going to stand up for the power of like this third element. Like one is angry to the other, and then they have problems, communication problems, and like, oh, but you're there, right? And your attention is there. Your deeper attention is there. Your deeper awakening is there. And that is really what is being asked for right now. And that is, again, the same. It's like standing in that place of power, and you're the life artist. And no matter what the circumstantial or the superficial 2 points are that seem to be arguing with each other, maybe there's just simply this one soul self that is you that just proposes peace, because it simply is, no matter the circumstances. And that is the peace of the heart. So I believe that you do actually the world an enormous favor when you, right at this time, can stay in the heart. And from there, do something. And as I suggested in the worksheet for the self-love game of today, that something can also be the beginning of an entrepreneurship in your economy, which is very topical as well, because many people, of course, have, this financial fear and problem. It's very real, and for the global, general, societal sense, it's also a big question where that will go, of course, and I understand that. So my suggestion has been since 2013 to go in the direction of me economy, and that means to acknowledge your own soul creative aspects and start to work from there and assist the society and the people around you or whomever comes to you from that, and ask numbers in return, and don't really mind what those numbers refer to in systems outside of yourself, but just keep it simple and easy and as close by as possible. And through the correct attunement of your soul into that whole thing, the world can start to change, and also the expression that those numbers that you ask in return will come out into, those forms will change when we step into these kinds of exchanges and economies and entrepreneurships with the right attitude. So everything comes down to the heart. This is really the central space. So I actually suggest that we take a moment to feel the heart. So you're just invited to close your eyes if you're comfortable doing that, and let's just take some deeper breaths. And when you just can sink a little deeper into your body and into your energy system, that would be helpful. And that also means to allow everything that you feel right now to come into your awareness, no matter what it is. Yeah, and then through that awareness of everything that is here, and everything that you can feel that is here, also becoming more aware of that there is actually a center in everything that you are aware of. So where do you feel that center? And it doesn't matter where it is, and it's just an invitation to feel if it is somewhere and to become aware that it is here. Ah, good. That's great. Because the most essential thing is that thing. And everything comes from it. Everything comes forth out of it. And future society, future social life comes from that place for you, because you are open for that and open for the development to that. You can trust that there is a path. it has been walked, so you can follow and be safe. So, yeah, there's this invitation to start that path as life artists. And we will be starting off, oh, if you want, you can like slowly, slowly open your eyes again. Just keep it super, super slowly. Yeah, so we are going to support you in that. And it's going to be, a proposal that you can take part in if you like. It just supports you on that. I'm going to look if there is a card that wants to come. Maybe that will give us more information. Yeah, it's so interesting to see that we're going to do the classical tarot first. That like the harmonious union is a state of being that actually arises on this path a little later on in the experience of Penny, but specifically when you are ready. And that can be at any time, because in reality time doesn't exist, which is very interesting in itself. And every dimension and every memory and every life, past, present or future, and every planet and every density is accessible from the now, from the here and now. So you're right now seeing me, I'm going to cut it once and I pick the card on the top. You're seeing me now, you're watching a video and you're on the earth. That's your home planet. And at the same time, you're everywhere else too that you are aware of. Isn't it interesting? When you are aware of. Yeah. That's also why, the healing that we do is like simultaneously on every plane that you may potentially be aware of. That's why we're humans, but we're actually transhuman. That's to say that we are living on our home planet, the Earth. And we're fully invited to ground fully here. But that means to include everything else that is here in the now as well. So this card is going to be, see, there is some playful fighting, some trying to make a perfect symbol with those 5 rods, and that they're trying to make a pentagram, which is a wonderful sign of perfection in the material world, like the spirit is incarnated in the material world in a wonderfully harmonious, there you go, way, and they're trying to do that. So there are people around at this time and also around us and around me that are trying to go there. And I want to say to you that you are very welcome and cordially invited to come to us to make those steps that you're trying to do. That's what we've been prepared for to facilitate for you. So don't be afraid of that. And it's also safe to let fall away other facilitators that didn't cut it for you, because you're probably right. You can trust your vibe. This is your trust your judgment on the vibe. So this is the Egyptian deck, and I shuffled and cut it and took the first card, and it says Alchemy. This is wonderful. Alchemy. This is a wonderful old alchemical drawing, alchemy is really, that is what Harmonious Union is, you know. Any alchemist, whether mythical or real, in the past or right now, searches for the lapis philosophicum, for the Holy Grail, for the Harmonious Union, for the connection with the source of all that will transform your heart in such a way that it at the same time brings you everything that you desire, also in a material sense, and as also gives you the highest spiritual sense of being. And this card says there is a process of coming about of consciousness from the material world to the spiritual. Transform a negative trait that you may have to a positive one. You will make a decision on the basis of the highest spiritual values. And there's a suggestion for an exercise. Research the influence that the sun and the moon have on you. Oh, that's great, yeah. Well, I'm not 100% sure if that last suggestion is the right one, because it will give you very circumstantial information, because the sun and the moon are in a way outside of yourself, right? And a lot of the time that is about learning lessons and then actually coming in the alchemy that you are wanting to come in. And the alchemical process is always about learning your lessons and getting into that harmony. So let's see if we have another card of my own deck. That is the Creative Entrepreneurs deck. It's called differently. It's called Manifestation Cards for Entrepreneurs. And this one just flipped out right away, so let's take that one. Making the invisible visible. It's a star card, number A11, and it's clearly some sort of an egg. Right? And there is this whirlwind of energy inside of the egg, and guess what? I think it wants to be born. Yeah, there's a lot of invisible energy that is inside of you that wants to be shared. So if you have given yourself some self-love to nourish that inner energy and to make it more visible for yourself, how it is even attuned in your specific case, what your creative identity is, then it wants to be born now. It wants you also to become a live artist that has a cup that is filled and the inside of the cup is nourished, and now it's going to start to pour over the rim. It's a cup that runneth over, and that's where you begin to share what you have with other people, which is the beginning of your creative entrepreneurship. Yeah, I like that. Wow, so that's another card that we had, and let me see which of the four archetypes of the creative entrepreneur we have today, and it is the white one, and that is the sign that we're talking today about, the energetic and physical realm of your belly, around your navel, and that is a very potent place of the beginning of sharing. So true. So social sharing, where you don't forget yourself in the first place for change, right? So let's see if we have a symbol today. I guess this symbol wants to come. Yeah, this is the healing symbol for the belly, energetic and physical place. So yeah, number 4. So you can make this drawing yourself and do something creative with it, and may it help you. acknowledge that your cup is full and that you're now going to share it, and the intuitive ways that you are designed to do that in. So there you go. What more do we have? I think I want to just invite you to answer anything that you have. If you have a topic that I could speak about, please give us that. And I will see how to incorporate that in the near future. I just want to wish you a wonderful new start after the 5-day self-love game. I want you to know that I will come back to you with new proposals for you to go deeper if you want to. And see you real soon. Love you very much. Yeah. Bye-bye.